Good evening, everyone. It is May 22nd, just before 9 p.m. It's been 5 days since our last update, so I don't know if we left you guys on a cliffhanger and everyone's been anxiously waiting for an update, but I was gone for the long weekend. Kristen has been doing really well. It's just been a slow progress forward, day to day, a little bit more mobility. She's been getting dialysis every other day and doing quite well. So today, she did end up having another unit of blood. So she had her hemoglobin went from 77 to 68 kind of thing. They were pretty sure it was because of dilution, so getting some extra fluid that caused that. But they did give her a unit and she bounced right back up into the 70s and so is feeling a lot better with that. She's been increasing her mobility sort of day by day. Walked, I guess I just chatted with the nurses on the phone, walked a lap around the unit today on T8, and so doing really well with that. Pain control really good with just T3s, so she's really progressing nicely. She's going to have dialysis again tomorrow first thing in the morning. She's starting to go up to full dose on her anticoagulants, so that's going to be what they want to have her on to, oh god, Dexter, he's trying to be the star of the show. Going up as high as they can to the full dose on her anticoagulants. So I think they're starting her on that tonight. She still has one drain in. That drain has been hardly putting anything out. It's been decreasing. She's been doing really well with that. The hope is that by Friday she will get her IVC, so her inferior vena cava filter, so that little badminton birdie that they put in to catch the clot, that if she tolerates a full dose of the anticoagulant, they'll be able to go in and pull that out by this Friday. And, you know, very tentative, and this is not something you should hold us to, but very tentative, looking at possibly being home by the end of next week. That's sort of the idea that they've gone. So she's just slowly progressing, getting up, moving, getting used to doing that. And she does have a bit of challenges with the leg. One of the risks that happened with taking out that artery that had the stent in it is that you can get a bit of what's called claudication, which is some sort of heaviness and pain in that leg when you exercise, and she's certainly feeling that a bit. But she is still able to mobilize up and around, walking up and to and from the bathroom. Nori, did you have any questions? Was there anything I missed?
Yeah, I had a question earlier. She gets really lightheaded when she sits up. So you had explained to me the cause of that, because I wasn't really understanding why.
Yeah, so that's called orthostatic hypotension, so which is a lot of words, a lot of syllables, for meaning that when you stand up, your blood pressure drops. So the reason is that we have things in our arteries called baroreceptors, and they would sense how much pressure our blood pressure, and they are able to send out signals in response to high or low blood pressure. So in a normal functioning healthy adult, when we stand up, all of our lower extremity vessels tighten up so that all of our blood doesn't dump into our toes, because we only have so much blood, and so if it all dumped into our toes, we'd get lightheaded and faint. With Kristen, one of the challenges is she's having shifts in fluid, so they're taking a bunch of fluid off in dialysis, and then her interstitial fluid, so the fluid that's outside of her veins, is going to come back into her circulatory system. That's what we're trying to do, is shift fluid. It takes her body a bit of time to adjust to that, so she is getting some of that dizziness when she sits up, because her body hasn't quite learned how to respond. You know, when I stand up, I have a normal circulating volume. That doesn't change very often because I'm normally hydrated, so my body knows I need to constrict a certain amount. Well, all of a sudden, if I'm dehydrated, when it constricts that certain amount, that's not quite enough. And that's what's happening with Kristen, because she's having these shifting fluids, is that her body just needs some time to adjust to know how much to constrict to keep the right amount of blood to her brain so she doesn't get lightheaded. So that's one of the things she's going to be challenged with. Now that they've topped her up, I think when her hemoglobin's above 75, she does a lot better. And so just kind of keeping it at that level will help.
Awesome.
All right. If you have any questions, feel free to post under the video or send Nori a message and we'll address it moving forward. Hope you guys all have a great night.